This video is going to review the severe injury that we see occur to Conor McGregor in UFC 264. We see him suffer what looks like a very severe lower leg or tibia and fibula fracture of his leg. So what are we looking at when we see the play in question, or the sequence in question, that Conor McGregor apparently fractures his leg? He's in an exchange with Dustin Poirier. We see him step back and take a misstep. Foot doesn't look like it steps down on the mat correctly, and his body weight continues to shift backwards, which causes a very severe rotational force on his lower foot and ankle. And these rotational forces can sometimes cause severe fractures of the tibia and fibula. So if we look at this model here, the main weight-bearing bone of the lower leg is the tibia. The outside bone is called the fibula. And we can see these fractures after rotational type injuries, which is consistent with what we saw with Conor McGregor. Now, in the post-fight interview, we see Joe Rogan talking to Dustin Poirier, who believes that during a leg kick check by Dustin Poirier that he may have weakened Conor McGregor's leg. That is very possible. That is a mechanism known to cause tibia fractures in the kicker, and we saw that very recently with Chris Weidman. So that is possible that that could have weakened Conor McGregor's leg. But it looks like it was this sequence where he missteps backwards, and then his body weight continues to go backward, causing a very severe rotation, which causes the actual severe fracture, which was very noticeable. There was a photo that looks like his entire foot and ankle is misdirected in the wrong place, or almost dislocated. So most likely that is the injury that did occur, a lower tibia and possibly fibula fracture of the leg. Bottom portion of the tibia fracturing along with that fibula. We saw the doctors place a splint on him in the octagon. We're going to be taking him to the hospital where he will be getting x-rays. He will most likely be admitted overnight into the hospital. And again, those x-rays are most likely going to find that he has fractures of the distal tibia and fibula. And unfortunately, from a treatment standpoint, us orthopedic surgeons typically do take patients to surgery for something like that, especially in a professional athlete, because we want to stabilize these bones, especially the tibia, which is the major weight-bearing bone in the lower leg. The way that we do that operation is we actually make an incision up in the knee and access the tibial canal, and usually stabilize on the inside of the bone with a nail or intramedullary device to stabilize that bone, so he's able to hopefully weight bear on it soon after. We also make the decision during surgery whether or not we need to put plates and screws on that ankle, depending on if it's stable or not. It didn't look like there was any evidence of the bone poking through the skin, which is what we would call an open fracture. That would make things much more concerning for a potential infection. So we do have that potentially going for us, but it does look like we're probably going to need surgery. Typically we do it the following day. And again, it's going to consist of that rod. In terms of what the future looks like, if the surgery goes successfully and we're able to stabilize the bones in a stable construct where the bones are nicely touching each other and stabilized with that rod, we usually allow immediate weight bearing or ability to walk right after surgery, which is huge for recovery with this operation. So then if we can get him up and moving immediately. In terms of what the future looks like for Conor McGregor, I've already been getting a lot of questions. Is this something that's potentially career threatening? Although that is a possibility, a lot of times we can have a good return to competitive play in the UFC and in other sports such as the NFL or NBA after we do that operation where we stabilize the bone with a rod and screws to stabilize everything. In terms of a timeline, I think realistically we're looking probably close to 9 and probably even closer to 12 months before something like that would be possible. So all the best to Conor McGregor. To see him back in the octagon again. I know that's not the way that he would want his career to end, but in terms of the outlook, we're probably looking close to 12 months. If you guys have any questions or comments about this injury or the surgery in general that us orthopedic surgeons do for this, make sure to leave your questions and comments below. All the best to Conor McGregor. We'll see you guys here next time.